From parades to pumpkin picking, Warwick's had a busy fall. We've got a lot to cover on this episode of In the Valley. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of In the Valley for the 2018-2019 school year. I'm Emma Ando. A lot has happened, so let's get into it. Everyone loves a parade, and Greenwood Lake is no different. The village recently hosted their annual event to honor local volunteer firefighters.
Recently, Greenwood Lake hosted their annual Firemen's Parade to celebrate 95 years of volunteer service to the village of Greenwood Lake. Approximately 40 different fire departments showed up, with all different types of trucks and vehicles, from older trucks to newer ones. Fire trucks weren't the only thing to appear in the parade. Around 40 different bands showed up as well to march alongside the volunteer fighter fighters. Bands came from West Babylon, Wallkill, Mountainville, and Walker Valley. Even the marching band from Warwick Valley High School showed up. However, the parade was about the volunteers and why they chose to serve and protect their communities.
I joined the fire department about 25 years ago in my home department in Rhode Island, and found that a lot of my friends had joined. We were all younger then, but found that it was something great about supporting and helping the community. I believe that, especially as a volunteer where we're donating all of our time, it's important that every person give back to the community in some manner. I just chose the fire service. There's something really exhilarating about going and knowing you're helping your neighbor in their time of need.
I choose to join the fire department because I wish to help out my community. I know all my neighbors, and when I'm home and the bell goes off, it's nice to know that being a volunteer, that there's people around to help answer the call. And it's a good sense of community pride when you're helping out your neighbors in times of crisis.
Thanks to the hard work of these volunteers and the volunteers of the future, their communities will rest safely, knowing that these men and women will continue to serve them. From In the Valley, I'm David Abb.
From the crew on In the Valley, we'd like to thank all the first responders that serve their communities. With the summer temperatures becoming a thing of the past, people looking for a cozy place in town to hang out, for some, that place is Tuscan Cafe. Let's take a look.
Tuscan can be a very cozy, comforting sanctorum where they can observe paintings made from local artists or just hang out and make their own featured pieces of art to be. Either way, there's always something here for someone to gravitate towards.
I've been going to Tuscan for over 10 years now, and the owners have always made it feel like, not to sound too cliche, a second home, and never felt judged or felt like I had to leave. The food's good. Yeah, food's good. People are great.
I live in Tuscan because ever since the first time I came here, I always felt that feeling of welcoming, and I've made so many new friends, and there's been so many instances where, you know, it's opened my eyes to different things, to different music and different art.
But it's not just about all the different types of tea or amazing assortments of food that draws people to Tuscan. It's also the music. Have everything from indie acoustic to spoken word poetry.
This is my life, no time for suicide, so consider to coincide, coexist, never hide. Only one life, one chance to make it right. Do good before the light, before you die, and amplify. I was a master before a guy. A being before a human, a servant of some kind. You're a serpent with no spine. There's no path to peace. Peace is the path, so quit lying. I'm denying my destiny. Sprout my wings and start flying. Rest in peace, no friends, just family to rely on.
But regardless of who you are and what you look like, you can always find a second home in Tuscan.
Tuscan hosts an open mic night every Thursday and is open 7 days a week, so stop on by. Baseball can get intense. Since the end goal for most players is the pros, many begin with travel baseball. Let's take a look at one player's journey.
Baseball is a popular sport played by all ages. Anyone can play this sport. Some people who go also bring their pets.
I've been playing baseball for 8 years now. I've been playing since I was, I think, 3 or 4. My position in baseball is third base. I play left field. I pitch, first base. I can really play anywhere. I just don't catch. Catching's not fun, unless you're a catcher.
I like meeting new people from different towns. I started playing on a travel team when I was 9.
The dream of the boys and the happiness of the parents blend together and create a winning team.
I think travel teams are great. I think the kids enjoy it. I think it's nice to travel to different towns, different cities, play with different competition, and I think it's good.
Well, there is a lot of traveling in a traveling team. Sometimes we go to Staten Island, New York, and most of the games are in Bergen County. This year we'll be going to Colorado, to Steamboat Springs to play baseball. And I think it benefits the athlete, the student athlete, because he gets to play against different competition and kids from all around the country.
So even though the parents are proud of their own kids, the kids are also very happy with their own success.
As you can see, one person's dream can turn into a family affair. Don't go away. Follow us here in Warwick, and that can only mean one thing. Find out what that is next on Community Crossroads.
Yeah. Are you wearing your seatbelt? No. Kim, you know that people not wearing a seatbelt are 30 times more likely to be ejected from the vehicle.
Airbags are useless unless you're wearing your seatbelt.
Okay, guys, I'll wear my seatbelt from now on.
For more information on seatbelt and car safety, visit www.safercar.gov.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. Show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice, so everyone knows exactly what to do. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family.
Welcome to the first edition of Community Crossroads. I'm Aiden O'Connor, and returning to the show today is Executive Director of the Warwick Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Michael Jandro. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Jandro.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
Now, Applefest is rapidly approaching, and I know it takes a lot of work to put in to prepare for Applefest. What have you and the community been doing to prepare for Applefest?
Well, basically, first of all, let me just say this is our 30th Applefest, which a lot of people can't believe it's been this long. It started in 1989. Mm-hmm. And actually, the committee of about a dozen people work 10 months a year for this prep for one day. And I mean, the coordination, you have a person ahead of the whole thing, and then you have someone that just handles all the crafters, somebody else handles all the food, somebody else works with the nonprofits, and then basically the chamber, even though it's under our umbrella, we handle pretty much the sponsorship. We try to get businesses to have booths in addition to the craft and food.
Right, of course. Now, how are the preparations for this year's Applefest different from years past?
Well, basically, we were surprised this year because typically we're the first Sunday in October,
right.
Which for 28 years it's been that way. Right. But a couple years ago, actually 8 years ago, the apple orchards came to us and said, listen, when Columbus Day falls that first weekend and it's Applefest, it's gridlock for us because the traffic is twice what it would normally be on an apple picking weekend. Okay.
I see, yes.
So they begged us. They said, basically, could you move it back? And we were hesitant to do it because crafters, especially, are locked into schedules like they're at the same place every year.
Right.
And all of a sudden, if we move out of that, we were afraid we were going to lose a group. Well, it turns out it was a benefit because it gave a chance to bring in businesses that hadn't been in it before.
I see.
So it actually expanded. And in fact, this year, we have, about a month ago, we were full. All the crafts we could take, all the food, and normally we don't fill up until almost the day before.
Right.
So this was special.
Yes, absolutely.
So 8 years ago, we did put it on the second Sunday, and then guess what? This is 8 years later, and it fell on that calendar again, so we backed it up another week. Nice. And there'll still be people coming that first Sunday, because traditionally it's been that way, as I say, for 28 years.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's probably the biggest adjustment right now in this whole thing, and making sure we try to get out press releases and Facebook and our website and everything to let people know, but there'll still be extra traffic here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people from far away come to Warwick for Applefest. How does having all these people come to Warwick benefit the community?
Oh, it's a big, big plus. First of all, Applefest, I've only been in the village 13 years. So, I mean, we're considered newbies or rookies or whatever. We'll never be a Warwickian, okay? We weren't born and bred here, okay? Or 3 generations or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing place to live. I mean, how many communities have a full-fledged hospital, have a blue ribbon school district, and have a community that really cares about everybody in it? Anybody has a tragedy, everybody steps up.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
So, your question then basically, how does it really help? Well, first of all, 50 nonprofits can make enough money on Applefest Day, they don't have to go fundraising all year long.
Really?
So, in other words, any local person that says, boy, Applefest is such a pain in my neck and all this baloney gridlock, I say, but guys, it's only one day a year. One day. So if 50 nonprofits are not going to be knocking on your door all year long, that's a plus, okay?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And then obviously, being in the Chamber of Commerce, we realize that Applefest really puts us on the map for future tourism. People come here for the first time, they look around, they go, oh my God, this is gorgeous. I mean, Greenwood Lake, 11-mile long, Derek Jeter can't be the only one that knows it's there, right?
Right.
With his $17 million home for sale. The Black Dirt region of Pine Island in Florida. I mean, people drive up just to see that.
Oh, yeah.
And then the historic village of Warwick. And so it truly, the Appalachian Trail, all the other pluses, including the drive-in movie theater, which there's only 320 left in the country right now.
That is something very special, yeah.
4,000 4 years ago.
Really?
Film industry made them go digital versus film. It's a $100,000 upgrade per screen. This small business had to pull up $300,000 to upgrade. That's why they all went out of business. And it's a draw. People love it. So anyway,
really
that's the draw for Applefest, really.
I see. Now, a lot of local business owners and local vendors will come out for Applefest, and this allows them to show what they have to a wide audience.
Yes.
How does that benefit the local businesses?
Big. First of all, Main Street businesses of Warwick don't have to have a booth for Applefest because people don't just stay on South Street.
Right.
You know, they park, rather it be at school or along the streets in the community or whatever. They walk Main Street because there's really no place at Applefest to sit down and eat or sit down and relax other than the railroad tracks, and a few people will actually sit on the rails. Yes. I've seen that over the years. So the restaurants are very strong because people look, well, where can I go and grab a bite and be able to sit?
Right.
So, there's 40 places to eat in the village of Warwick. People don't realize. They go, it's 5-star right down to just cafes.
Right.
And another 100 within, say, 10 miles. But anyway, it gets them out to look for those restaurants, and then by looking for the restaurants, they walk by all the retail stores and realize in the historic buildings. And so it's a major it gets them here with the idea we want them to come back. That's what the whole deal is about. And I'll tell you, Applefest is a family-friendly, a lot of events around have what they call beer tents and all kinds of pushing with the alcohol. And in Warwick, if you want to, you can get a drink in any of the bars or restaurants or whatever, but there's nothing sold on Applefest itself.
I see.
This is where you can bring your kids and go to Stanley Deming Park and have a petting zoo over there, some little rides. It's for every age. And we do discourage, though, people with their dogs. We discourage people to bring their dogs. It's so crowded. Oh, and if a couple dogs get into a, say, a fight or a skirmish or whatever, somebody could get hurt. So we really encourage parents or family, whatever, to keep their animals home that day and not come in. So, but yeah, the businesses love it with the idea that, wow, we have better advertising than we could ever pay for. Right. And so yeah, they benefit.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Mr. Jandro for joining us today on Community Crossroads.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Okay.
So now we're supposed to, do you play any sport?
The first time I met Morris, the door flew open and I got this larger-than-life personality talking at the top of his lungs. Oh, man. Oh, I totally forgot. Hold on. Let me get this for you. So I thought, all right, we're definitely going to be friends.
Oh, Dapper Leon.
Oh, no.
He's the highlight of my week. He's always gregarious at the door. Dana, like it's a surprise.
I've known Mikhail and Giro about 6 months. You don't find many young people that want to be fooling around with us old folks.
I come to the door, drop the food in the fridge, and the coffee is on.
The things that can get you down, he's always like, well, that's how it goes. He gave me some marriage advice right when I got engaged.
I shouldn't have said that. She came in and she said, nobody else knows this but you. We're gonna have a baby. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Despite his vision not being so good, he sees who I am.
He helps put me back in perspective. And then I just feel better.
I said, you guys have no idea how I really truly feel about you.
Doing Meals on Wheels for me is the joy that I look for at the end of my week. I don't feel like I'm volunteering when I'm with Leon.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America!
America! America! Let's do lunch!
Welcome back to In the Valley. There are certain staples of fall, the leaves changing colors, endless political ads, but we sought to answer one of the biggest questions about this fall. Let's take a look.
We indulge in our love for fall with time-old traditions such as pumpkin spiced lattes or hot apple cider. We went to the orchard to see what fall lovers favor the most, apple or pumpkin picking.
I would say pumpkin picking, because I like to carve pumpkins. They're a lot of fun to carve.
I like apple picking, and I like apple picking because it's more interactive. You can get up into the trees.
We like pumpkin picking better. And a lot of these apples probably go in the garbage at some point because we don't use them, but the pumpkins go, for Halloween. We like that better.
The results seem to be that pumpkins have more uses than apples. I guess it breaks down to jack-o'-lanterns or pumpkin pie.
Who doesn't love apple pie and carving pumpkins? Wait, you can make pumpkin pie, but you can't carve an apple? Speaking of apples, people listen to music in many different ways. Apple Music and Spotify are popular, but some people prefer their music in person. We headed over to Railroad Green to check it out.
Music is an important part of life, and they know that in Warwick. That's why the town has its program of summer concerts on the green. Concerts are held every Friday as local residents walking by or concert goers alike can jam out to some great music.
We love coming to these concerts because we enjoy seeing
all of our friends here. We like to dance a lot, and over the years that we've been coming to these concerts, we've met many new friends that we have a lot of great times with.
The performance was done by The Choice, and I caught up with the front man for the band.
We are The Choice, and we're happy to be playing here downtown in Warwick for the Summer Art Concert Series. And we've been delighted. We've been wanting to play here for years, so this is our big happy fun time. We found each other on a website, and two guys lived up in Upper Greenwood Lake. I live in Warwick, and we found an awesome bass player that lives down in Jersey, in Wanacue, so we're kind of all local.
The concert was a great time and everyone was feeling the music. And although concerts for this year are done, we hope to see you next summer. For In the Valley, I'm Jeffrey Koff.
That'll do it for this edition of In the Valley. If you like the show, check out what else we have on the Warwick Valley TV YouTube page and on Instagram at WV Television. From In the Valley, I'm Emma Ando. We'll catch you next time.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
Because you said rude things about my work, I started to question my own voice.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of your negative comments online, I've almost quit doing the one thing that makes me happiest in life.
Because you shared something about me that was private, I felt embarrassed.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Because of you sharing your story with me, I feel comfortable sharing my own.
Because you were there when I was coming out, you helped me regain my confidence. I'm still here today because of you.
91% of plastic isn't recycled. It takes 500 years for the average size plastic bottle to fully decompose. 9 billion tons of litter is dumped into the world's ocean each year. Change starts with you. Pick up after yourself.